welcome to the third lecture in electrochemistry. In the last lecture, we have discussed different types of cells, that is, and sign conventions that are used in writing the cell reactions of a galvanic cell. Now, today, we'll be discussing electrode potentials. As we all know, these electrode potentials play a very key role in discussing the uh, flow of electrons in a circuit. So, what is electrode potential? Electrode potential is defined as the difference of electrical potential established due to electrical half reaction between metal electrode and the solution around it at equilibrium at constant temperature. I repeat again, electrode potential is the difference of electrical potential established due to electrode half reaction between a metal electrode and the solution around it at equilibrium at constant temperature. So let us try to understand in detail regarding the electrode potential. When a metal is immersed into a solution containing its own ions, there arises a potential. There arises two different types of reactions, that is oxidation or reduction. If suppose there arises a oxidation reaction involving a release of electrons, or there is sometimes due to oxidation there is a gain of electrons. This gives rise to a formation of electrical double layer consisting of a charged metal surface and ionic layer around it. This potential across the double layer, that is between the metal and the solution, is called as a electrode potential. I repeat again, if suppose a metal is dipped into a solution containing its ions, there arises a oxidation reaction involving release of electrons. This gives rise to formation of an electrical double layer consisting of charged metal surface and an ionic layer. This potential across this double layer, that is between the metal and the solution, is called as an electrode potential. So there are two types of potential, that is called, first is called as oxidation potential and the second is called as a reduction potential. So look at these diagrams. The first diagram refers to oxidation potential and the second diagram refers to the reduction potential. So let us firstly try to understand what is oxidation potential. So oxidation potential is defined as the difference of electrical potential between a metal electrode and the solution around it at equilibrium developed due to oxidation reaction at anode at constant temperature. I repeat again, oxidation potential is defined as the difference of electrical potential between metal electrode and the solution around it at equilibrium developed due to oxidation reaction at anode at constant temperature. So let us try to look at the diagram. We have a beaker. In that beaker, we have zinc sulfate solution. We have a zinc rod dipped in the zinc sulfate reaction in the solution. A reaction occurs, that is zinc dissociates and it gives Zn plus ions and it releases electrons. It releases electrons. So as we all know, zinc rod, it acquires a potential which is called as a negative potential on it itself. as electrons are released and a negative potential is developed on the zinc rod. In the solution, there are Zn plus ions, so these Zn plus ions accumulate around the zinc rod, and there is formation of a electrical double layer, that is a positive layer in the solution and a negative negative ion layer on the rod. So in this way, there is a electrode potential, that is due to oxidation reaction, there is a potential developed which is called as oxidation potential. So this reaction takes place at constant temperature. Now let us discuss the second type of potential, which is called as reduction potential. The reduction potential is defined as the difference of electrical potential between metal electrode and the solution around it at equilibrium developed due to reduction reaction at anode at constant temperature. You should take into mind that the oxidation potential develops at electrode, which is called as a cathode, and the reduction potential developed as the electrode, which is anode. So now let us look at the diagram and try to understand what is reduction potential. If suppose we have a copper rod and this copper rod is dipped in a copper sulfate solution and a reduction reaction takes place. These copper ions in the copper sulfate solution accept the electron and undergo reduction reaction, and they form copper ion, copper metal, solid copper. So this copper rod, due to its ions, due to its dissociation, it forms positive charge on itself, and the negative ions, the electrons in the solution, they gather around the copper rod, and there is formation of an electrical double layer, and this electrical double layer is due to reduction potential, is due to reduction potential. So due to positive potential, there is oxidation potential, or reduction potential is called as a negative potential also sometimes. Now let us discuss the next point, that is standard potential of an electrode according to IUPAC conventions. So as you all know, what is IUPAC? International Union for Pure and Applied Chemistry. It is a official system of convention for determining the standard potential of an electrode. So standard reduction potential. Standard reduction potential, according to IUPAC convention, the standard potential of an electrode due to reduction reaction at 298 Kelvin is taken as standard reduction potential. So in this, active mass of a substance has a unit value. Active mass of substance has a unit value. So this standard reduction potential is the potential of an electrode due to reduction reaction at a definite temperature, which is called as 298 Kelvin, and the conditions are standard. So that is why, and the reaction is reduction. So that is why this potential is called as standard reduction potential. Now we go on to what is called as EMF of a cell. EMF of a cell. So as we all know, EMF, or it is also called as a cell potential. So this cell potential or EMF of a cell is defined as the potential difference between two electrodes responsible for an external flow of electrons from left hand electrode at higher potential to right hand electrode at lower potential when connected to form an electrochemical cell or a galvanic cell. So as we all know that always and always the electrical flow of electrons is from higher potential to the lower potential. So here the potential difference between the two electrodes is responsible for flow of electrons from left hand electrode or from anode or towards the cathode, which has lower potential, and these are connected and they form a cell which is called as a electrochemical cell or galvanic cell. So as since there is a oxidation reaction at half left hand electrode or anode, and at right hand electrode RHE is called as a right hand electrode or cathode, EMF of the galvanic cell is given by EMF of a galvanic cell is given by E cell is equal to E oxidation anode plus E reduction cathode. This is the addition of oxidation and reduction. Since by IOPAC convention, generally reduction potentials are used. Hence, for a given cell, E oxidation is equal to minus E reduction. E oxidation is equal to minus E reduction. Therefore, EMF of a cell, EMF of a cell or cell potential of a cell is equal to E reduction cathode minus E oxidation anode. E oxidation anode. As we all know, because E oxidation is equal to, in place of E oxidation, we have written minus E reduction. Minus E reduction. In place of minus, E cell is equal to, therefore E cell is equal to E reduction minus E oxidation. Now, as we all know, if you want to calculate the cell potential, so this cell potential depends upon the concentration. It depends upon the concentration. So we have to derive one equation which is called as Nernst equation. So now let us try to understand the dependence of cell potential upon concentration, which is called as Nernst equation. Consider the following general reaction taking place in a galvanic cell. In a galvanic cell, small a plus small b gives rise to C plus D. So the voltage or the potential of the cell is given by E cell is equal to E standard cell minus RT upon NF log natural C to the power C into D to the power T upon A to the power A into B to the power P. Or EMF of a cell is equal to E standard cell minus 2.303 RT upon NF log with the base 10 C to the power C into D to the power D upon A to the power A into B to the power P. where in this equation is called as Nernst equation, and where T is called as T is called as temperature, R is called as a gas constant which has a definite value, F, as we all know, it has a value 96500, F is called as Faraday, N is called as number of electrons which are involved in the redox reaction. So at 25 degrees Celsius, at 25 degrees Celsius temperature, 2.303 RT upon F is equal to 2.303 into 8.314, which is the value of R, into 298 is a Kelvin temperature, upon 96500. The value of this, when we calculate it, it comes to be 0.592. 0.592. Therefore, this above equation becomes E cell potential of a cell is equal to E standard cell minus 0.592 RT upon NF, RT upon NF log with the base 10, log with the base 10, C to the power C into D to the power D upon A to the power A into B to the power B. This equation is the general equation for which is called as a Nernst equation for the cell potential, and this Nernst equation is used to calculate the cell potential and electrode potential. We can calculate the cell potential and electrode potentials of different cells. Now let us go on specifically for different uh, cell potentials of different uh, cells. For example, if suppose we have a cell, now if we want to calculate the cell potential of a cell and the cell reactions of this cell, if we know, then we can apply our Nernst equation, and we can know the Nernst equation, and we can calculate the cell potential of the given cell. If suppose we have a cell, we have CD, a single line, CD plus aqueous solution, or salt bridge, CD double line, plus Cu plus 2 aqueous solution, a single line, and a Cu electrode, which is a copper, and which is anode, and this is cadmium is a cathode. Suppose there are two sides as we on, which is the left hand side is a cadmium and right hand side is a copper. So the electrode reactions of the cell reactions for the given cell are as follows. Left hand side reaction, cadmium dissociates into and it gives Cd plus 2 ions and it releases 2 electrons. The type of reaction on the left hand electrode is an oxidation type of reaction, and on the right hand side the reaction, that is the reduction reaction takes place, electrons are accepted by the Cu plus and it gives rise to Cu plus 2, it accepts 2 electrons and it forms solid copper. So the reaction is a reduction reaction. The overall reaction taking place is Cd plus Cu plus 2 gives rise to Cd plus 2 plus Cu plus Cu. This is the overall reaction. So as the number of ions that are number of electrons is equal to 2. Number of electrons is equal to 2 for the given cell reaction. So the Nernst equation for this cell potential, we can write E cell is equal to the cell potential of the above cell. E cell is equal to E standard cell minus RT upon NF log natural C to the power C into D to the power D upon a to the power a into b to the power b. So we can write the Nernst equation. Therefore, E cell potential of the above cell is equal to E standard cell is equal to E standard cell minus 0.592 RT upon NF log with the base 10 C to the power C into D to the power D upon A to the power A into B to the power B. So now let us try to write the same equation for cell potential of a zinc electrode. For a zinc electrode. If suppose we have zinc rod dipped in zinc sulfate solution, so there is Zn ions in the zinc sulfate solution. So the reduction reaction taking place, and this Zn ions accept electrons and they give rise to zinc ions, solid zinc. So here in this reaction, there are two electrons. There are 2n is equal to 2 as two electrons are involved, are accepted by zinc and it forms zinc solid. By Nernst equation, the reduction potential as the reaction taking place is reduction. The reduction potential of the given electrode can be given by E zinc electrode potential is equal to electrode potential of zinc and Zn plus upon zinc is equal to E standard cell is equal to E standard cell of zinc and zinc plus and zinc upon zinc is equal minus minus 0.592 upon NF 592 upon NF log with the base 10 1 upon Zn plus 2. So if we substitute the number of electrons, then we get E standard cell Zn plus 2 upon Zn minus minus 0.0592 RT upon NF RT upon NF into log with the base 10 into log with the base 10 into Zn plus ion. So where Zn upon Zn plus 2 upon Zn is a standard potential of the electrode. Now let us try to understand the next point, that is the relation between cell potential and Gibbs energy for a cell reaction. Relation between cell potential and Gibbs energy for a cell reaction. Consider a galvanic cell which involves n number of electrons in the overall reaction. Since 1 mole of an electron, since 1 mole of electrons are involved in the electric charge equal to 1 Faraday, which is equal to 96500 coulomb, the total charge involved, in the reaction is electrical charge is equal to N into F. Electrical charge is equal to N into F. If E cell is the cell potential, then electrical work is N into F into E cell According to thermodynamics, electrical work is equal to decrease in Gibbs energy. So minus delta G we can write. Whenever there is a decrease in energy, we have to write Gibbs energy as a negative sign. So minus delta G we can write. So electrical work is equal to N into F into E cell is equal to minus delta G. So therefore, delta G is equal to minus N into F into E cell. So under standard conditions, we can write, under standard conditions, we can write delta G standard. Standard delta G is equal to minus N into F minus N into F into E standard cell. So where E standard cell is a cell potential and delta G is the standard Gibbs free energy. So with this, we'll stop here, and in the next lecture, we'll discuss regarding the relation between cell potential and Gibbs free energy further.